Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to show you that this ground cover ajuga is starting to flower and bloom. Just a few more days and all of my ajuga will be in bloom, and it'll be like a carpet of purple, and I really like it next to this lamb's ear, the silvery green with the darker green and that purple really pop. It also looks good with this sedum ground cover. I like that chartreuse with the purple flowers. I wanted to show you guys a couple things over here. This crab apple tree is blooming. It looks a lot better this year than it has in several years. Only thing I wish it would bloom before it leaves out so much, if that makes sense, because I feel like the leaves on top of the blooms take away, you know, just kind of take away from it. But anyway, I guess it is kind of pretty, and I've debated, if you guys been following me for a while, I thought about getting rid of this tree. So that's my question of the day. If you guys will let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you keep this here, or would you cut it down? One reason I kind of want it down is because it casts shade on this end of my landscape here. You can kind of see how things are a little bit bigger on this side, and just in the summer it's casts a lot of shade, especially for my annuals that I plant here in the border. So by the end of the season, the annuals like the blue salvia and the marigolds are big and bushy on this end all the way down till you get about right here. And yeah, so this tree kind of blocks a lot of sun, plus it's kind of aggravating to get around it through there and mow. So you know what they say, if something's in your garden and it doesn't make you happy, then it's time to trade it out for something else. When we first moved here, there is a stump over here. They had, why it was so random I didn't know. It would have made more sense to do 2 crab apples, but they had a Bradford pear here, and I'm not real crazy about Bradford pears. I think they're kind of a weak tree, a messy tree, and anyway, they can get pretty big. So anyway, that come down a couple years ago, maybe 3 seasons ago. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you take this down, crab apple down as well? And then that way, from the street view, you'll be able to see this whole side of the landscape. And it's actually, I think this end of the landscape comes out further than this one, so I could bring that out a little further. And before we start sowing some more seeds, I wanted to show you guys these. I don't know what they're called, but they're tulips. I've had these for over 5 years. We'll be in this house about 5 years, and this month will be 5 years. So I've had these since my old house, and they come up every year. Just gorgeous. Sorry about that, guys. My neighbor come over and we started chatting, but anyway, she likes to garden too, and she's always giving me plants and stuff. So anyway, so I was talking about the tulips, and then the dogwood tree here is about to set flower. So anyway, guys, let's go in, and I believe I'm going to start sowing some marigold seeds. Before we go in, just a quick look at the knockout roses here that I cut back last week. A week ago, they're looking pretty good, and I noticed other people's knockout roses around here too, like at McDonald's and places like that. Those are looking like mine, so I guess it's just too early still for them to, I guess they're just now coming out of dormant, I guess I should say. So anyway, cut those back, so I'm going to try to keep them to a certain size, and I am trying to think of what I'm going to put in this corner. So, because these guys were come out pretty far, so this is giving me a little bit of room here. I thought about all kinds of things, you know, salvia or that blue juniper, the blue juniper carpet. So anyway, I'll figure it out. Tulips are in bloom. Salvia's popping out, and I did set my hibiscus. Now this one is not hardy outdoors anyway, but this guy has been brought inside since fall, and I'm assuming it's still alive. It's still got green leaves on it, and it even bloomed a few times inside. But anyway, if they're calling for a frost, back in it goes. But I'm actually shocked that I was able to keep it alive this long. So yeah. And just real quick, I kind of outlined my border here for this landscape. Now, none of this, it don't look that great. It's a mixed match of all kinds of things, but the general idea and general shape I can see, and one of these days I will get it all matching. But you guys can kind of see that line I'm going for. And then I started to dig up the Solomon seal that was in this garden. And this garden, I just want hostas in this garden, so this will be my hosta garden. And for some reason I stuck a few years ago some Solomon seal in here. I'm trying to dig all that out, and I am transplanting it over here. So along this edge, hopefully one day it will fill in nicely. And it's a great foliage plant. It does get white flowers on it, but they don't last very long. But it looks pretty good all through the season. And it's a great part shade to shade plant. Perennial, it comes back every year. So here is the variety of marigolds that I put out in the front, along with the blue Victoria Salvia every year. I love that combination of the blue and the red orange. So this variety is the French Double Dwarf Marigold. I got 2 packs of those. I'm going to start a full tray of those in this Burpee seed starting mix. Also, I have gladiuses I can go ahead and plant out. I have a Clematis that I got a little over a month ago at Tractor Supply. This one is a purple one. Jackmani, I think that's how you pronounce that. I also have a Peony. This is a pink Peony that I need to get in the ground, as well as a Sensation Lilac here. And I believe all of these are safe enough now to go in the ground. So let's do that real quick before we start sowing some seeds. Alright, so here's my thoughts on the pink Peony. I've got 1 Peony here. Get my shadow out. 1 Peony coming up there. Not sure what color it is, but I thought I might have another one next to it and kind of do more as time goes on through there. In this main flower garden here, there is a peony coming up there. And under this bird cage, kind of protecting it because they're kind of fragile right now, I planted the white Shirley Temple peony here. Now it didn't have any growth on it, so I'm not sure if this one will do anything or not. It actually come from Walmart, I think, so you never know. But I don't have any more, I don't think, in here, so that's one option there, or I could put in another one around in here somewhere. Actually, I think I'm going to put it in this main garden here. So, this is going, trying to space them out just right, somewhere in here. Alright, now, I also have a peony coming up here. And when the dogs were, when they had free range of the yard, they would trample this one down every year. Just the new growth is real fragile on these right now. So anyway, I'm going to grab that lilac tree, and I'm thinking I'm going to put the lilac on this end. You guys might remember me saying I need some kind of structure on this end, because I got all that on that end of the flower bed. And I think lilacs are gorgeous when they're limbed up, so I think I'm going to do that here. And the blooms on this one is like a mix of purple and white, so anyway, I think that will look good kind of as a centerpiece on this end. If you're new to my channel, there was a very big holly tree that was there that we cut down maybe 3 seasons ago, which give me a lot more light or sun in this area. So this garden bed's gonna need some TLC, but yeah, it's just a mixed match of a little bit of everything, which is what I like. Also, if you're new here, my favorite gardens are cottage gardens, so the fuller, the better in my opinion. So anyway, let me grab that lilac and we'll place it over here, figure out where that needs to go. So I've set it here, and now I'm just kind of walking around and making sure it's centered with this curve here, or with the edge of my garden. I think that looks about right. So that's going to go there, peony there, and now let's figure out where that purple clematis is going to go. Okay, so here is the purple clematis. One option I was thinking, of course the arbor is down right now, but I could have it growing on this arbor in the front. The only thing about that is I've got to figure out where exactly this arbor is going to go placement wise before I go and plant the clematis. Of course it can always be dug up, but it's just one of those things where I would prefer not to re-dig it up. I could also put it there on that skinny panel right there and have it kind of growing up on a trellis there. So it's another idea. Clematis like their roots in the shade and their flowers and foliage in the sun. So that's just one little tip that I've learned and heard. So I could also put that clematis right here, would be a perfect spot. It would have shade from the limelight, and then if it grew up this gutter here, but I don't know, that might be a little much. So let me figure this out, guys, and I will be right back. Alright, y'all, so now that I'm out of breath, I've got the peony planted, and the lilac planted. And then I did decide to put the clematis on the arbor up there, so let's take a look at that. So it's crazy how out of shape you can get over just a few months during the winter. Yeah, I mowed yesterday and spent all afternoon and evening in the yard, pretty much doing the same today, and yeah, it's caught up with me. Either that or I'm just getting old. I'll be 30 next month, so I guess I'm getting old. So anyway, the purple clematis is planted here on this arbor, and I do need to get some poles in the ground around this and zip tie it, because the high winds that we've been getting, it just keeps blowing over, and I don't want this clematis to be growing on here and it blow over and pretty much rip everything that's growing. So anyway, that is on my list of things to do before I go in for the night. But anyway, friends, I'm going to save planting the gladius and the marigolds. I'm going to save those for a different video. You guys know how to plant marigolds, so I figured that was kind of boring anyway. Here you can see the cats just love this catmint. It'll be blooming before too long, and they are just in love with catmint. So anyway, friends, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow along and join me for another season in my garden and see how things evolve, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Subscribing is 100% free, and it does